Urgent word from Archangel Michael. He's crying out before you miss the last window of divine safety. My beloved, listen closely, my dear one. There is a sound in the unseen realm, a trembling call, a cry that carries both urgency and tenderness. It is not the sound of punishment, but the cry of love too full to stay silent. Archangel Michael is calling your name, not to shame you, but to remind you that heaven still knows it. Before this message ends, you will feel the nearness of that love, like a warmth stirring in your chest, like a memory of safety returning to your soul. Stay with me. You have been feeling something lately, a restlessness you cannot quite name, a heaviness in your breath, as though something important is slipping through your fingers. You have wondered if heaven has turned its face away, if your prayers were left unopened on the floor of the sky. But hear this, what you feel is not rejection. It is the tug of heaven's cry, calling you back toward alignment before fear takes root where faith once stood. The world has been loud around you. So many voices telling you that you are behind, that you have missed your moment, that divine protection has thinned like morning mist. But heaven's truth does not speak in panic. Heaven's truth whispers in peace. Michael's cry is not a threat, it is an awakening, a gentle alarm before dawn. He is not shouting at you, he is calling for you, summoning your awareness back to the place where your wings remember how to open. Feel that, beloved, how something in you begins to rise at the mention of your name being known in heaven. The fear that you are unseen begins to soften. That small, sacred ache in your chest is not despair, it is recognition. The angels have not abandoned you. They have been waiting, poised between silence and intercession, hoping you would notice the shimmer of grace brushing against your ordinary day. Michael's cry moves through time differently. It reaches you not as thunder but as resonance, as the pull to pause, to breathe, to listen beneath the noise. Right now, let your breath slow. Inhale as though drawing light into your lungs. Exhale as though releasing the dust of worry. There is no punishment in this moment. Only presence. Only invitation. You see, the language of heaven often feels unfamiliar because it speaks through peace, not pressure. Where fear says, "You're too late," love says, "You're still being guided." Where shame whispers, "You failed," grace replies, "You were never alone." The alert is not about losing protection, it is about remembering that you were never outside it. Even in your confusion, divine hands have been shielding paths you could not yet walk. Some of what you called loss was actually preservation. Some of what you called silence was strategic stillness. Michael's cry breaks that silence now, not to alarm you, but to awaken you to what has always been near. Before this message ends, you will sense it, that sacred vibration moving through your skin, a soft tingling at the back of your neck, the faint hum of recognition that says, "This moment is holy." My beloved, heaven is not warning you of doom. Heaven is reminding you of worth. The cry you hear in your spirit is the sound of the gates of mercy opening again. It is not that you were moments away from losing protection, it is that you were moments away from realizing you never could. The divine shield around you has not weakened, it is waiting for your awareness to meet it once more. So stay still for a breath longer. Let the warmth in your heart expand until it feels like light filling the room. Feel how peace begins to settle where panic once lived. That is the presence of the Archangel near you now, steady, vast, and kind. When the cry fades, what remains is an invitation. Return, not in fear, but in trust. Step again into the current of divine safety that has always carried you. For what calls your name now is not judgment, it is love remembering its way back to you. And as that love settles upon you, something in you begins to whisper back, I hear you. I am here. Soon, this gentle awakening will unfold into stillness, a moment where breath meets presence and your soul remembers how to rest. Let the noise around you fade for a moment. You don't have to push it away, just let it drift, like waves settling after a storm. The world has shouted long enough, pulling your mind in 100 directions. But now, my beloved child, heaven asks for something quieter. Just a breath. Just a pause. Nothing to prove, nothing to fix. Only the sacred rhythm of your own breathing becoming a doorway back to peace. Inhale peace, exhale fear. Inhale calm, exhale the noise. Inhale presence, exhale distraction. Stay here with me. Feel how your chest rises like a small prayer that needs no words. Feel the air, cool as grace, moving into your lungs. Every breath you take now is an act of trust, a soft agreement that you are still being guided. You don't have to rush to catch up with God. You only need to slow down enough to notice that He's already beside you. Sometimes the Spirit does not arrive in thunder. Sometimes the voice of heaven comes through the quiet rhythm of your breathing. When the world feels loud and heavy, when thoughts spiral and hearts race, the divine whisper returns through the simplest act, your inhale and your exhale. Each one says, I am safe. Each one reminds you, I am here. The chaos outside cannot reach the still point within. Every breath you take is a bridge from confusion to clarity. Feel the warmth spread through your chest as you breathe more deeply, the tension melting from your shoulders, the heartbeat beginning to slow. This is the place where God speaks, not in panic, but in presence. Stay attuned. Notice how the air feels entering your nose, how it expands your ribs, how gently it leaves again. Let it carry away the residue of worry, the fragments of other people's noise, the weight of what you can't control. As you exhale, imagine the fear leaving your body like smoke dissolving into morning air. You may sense a subtle shift, a soft tingling, a lightness moving through your hands, the faint glow of awareness behind your closed eyes. That is alignment. That is heaven drawing near. You don't need to reach for it, you only need to breathe and allow. There is a stillness hidden beneath the surface of every storm. When you slow your breath, you begin to feel it again. In that stillness, the angels whisper. In that stillness, clarity begins to unfold like dawn after a long night. And as you breathe, peace begins to pulse through you, not as an idea, but as a presence that fills the room, steady and luminous. So, beloved, stay in this moment. Breathe as though heaven is breathing with you. Inhale peace, exhale fear. Inhale love, exhale doubt. With each gentle rhythm, your heart remembers what safety feels like. And when you open your eyes, the world will not seem so loud. You will see that even in silence, you are surrounded by guidance, quiet, constant, and kind. From this stillness, something holy begins to move, preparing your heart to hear what heaven will reveal next. There was a season when heaven grew quiet, wasn't there? You prayed, you waited, you wept, and still, nothing. You searched the sky for a sign, a flicker, a whisper, any confirmation that you were seen. But the silence stretched long, and in that stillness, doubt began to whisper its cruel stories. You started to wonder if perhaps you had been forgotten, if maybe your prayers were too small, too late, too lost among the countless voices rising each day. My dear one, if only you knew how heaven trembled with compassion while you waited. If only you could see how the angels hovered near, guarding you in the unseen spaces, holding back what would have harmed you, preparing what you could not yet hold. You called it abandonment, but heaven called it alignment. You named it distance, but God called it devotion, because only deep love allows such careful silence. There is a sacred ache that forms when prayers go unanswered. It stretches the heart until it becomes large enough to hold new wisdom. You see, some answers must ripen in time's secret garden. If they came too soon, they would spoil in your hands. The silence was not a denial, it was a gestation. Something holy was taking shape within you, beyond what your eyes could yet see. Think of those nights when your tears soaked the pillow and you whispered, "Where are you?" Heaven heard that cry. But sometimes, divine presence hides itself just long enough for you to discover that you carry a spark of that same light within. The silence was teaching you that you were never powerless. That even when heaven seemed mute, your spirit still carried the melody of faith. Stay with me here, beloved, because soon you'll understand why the silence came. There are moments in life when noise would only confuse you, when too many signs would distract from the single truth God is writing in your soul. The quiet became a shield, soft yet strong. It gathered you close to refine your hearing, so that when the true message arrived, you would know it by peace, not panic. Remember the way morning light returns after the longest night? It never rushes in, it unfolds gently. The same is true for divine answers. They arrive not as lightning but as dawn, slow, sure, steady. You may not notice the first glow, but one day you look around and realize the darkness has lifted. That is how heaven moves. Quietly. Faithfully. Always toward your good. The silence was never proof of absence. It was the language of transformation. While you waited, your heart was learning endurance. Your spirit was stretching into new strength. The heavens were arranging circumstances, weaving people and timing like threads of gold into the fabric of your story. If the answer had come when you demanded it, it would have met a version of you not yet ready to receive it. And even now, if you close your eyes and remember those lonely moments, you may sense that something else was present after all. A steady warmth, a subtle reassurance beneath the ache, that was divine presence hiding in plain sight. Heaven never left, it simply changed form. My chosen one, you were never abandoned. You were being prepared. Every unanswered prayer was an altar upon which patience and faith grew roots. The silence was the pause between chapters, the breath God took before speaking something new into your life. Let your heart rest in this truth. What felt like rejection was protection, and what seemed like delay was direction. The stillness was not a punishment but a proving ground, a quiet classroom where you learn to trust what cannot be seen. Soon, you will understand why the silence had to come first. For when heaven speaks again, and it will, you will recognize the voice immediately. It will not sound foreign or far away. It will sound like peace, like home, like the still small whisper that has always been guiding you. Breathe that in now. Let the weight of misunderstanding fall away. Feel the gentle warmth return to your chest. The silence is lifting. And beneath it, something sacred has been waiting to speak your name again, in love, in light, in perfect timing. There is a rhythm in heaven that does not rush. A sacred timing that never bends to fear, never bows to pressure. And though you have pleaded for movement, for signs, for swift answers, the delay has lingered like a shadow across your path. You have asked, why does it take so long? Why does everything stall just as I begin to hope? But what if the delay is not a punishment, my dear one? What if it is protection, an unseen hand holding back what would wound you before you are ready to face it? Stay close for a moment, and breathe. Before this message ends, you'll begin to understand why that door stayed closed, why certain paths never opened no matter how much faith you carried. Heaven was not ignoring you. Heaven was intercepting what you could not yet see. The delay was the Archangel's shield, not his silence. You see, divine timing is not built on your schedule, it is crafted in the workshop of eternity. While you stare at one closed door, the angels are busy clearing the debris from the next path, preparing a place that will not collapse under your feet. It takes time to align circumstances, hearts, and seasons. What looks like nothing happening is often everything happening beneath the surface. The soil may seem still, but the roots are weaving life in the dark. Think of a seed. If it sprouts before its roots are deep enough, it cannot bear the wind. The same is true for you. Some blessings would wither if they came too soon. Heaven delays not to deprive you but to strengthen your foundation, to ensure that when your moment arrives, you will not lose what was meant to last. There were doors you were certain should have opened, relationships that seemed right, opportunities that glowed with promise, dreams that felt divinely inspired. Yet each one hesitated, each one slipped through your hands. You thought, maybe I wasn't worthy. Maybe I didn't pray hard enough. But the truth is far kinder. The door did not refuse you, it spared you. There were lessons hidden behind it that were not yours to learn, burdens not meant for your shoulders. Heaven sees the bends in the road that you cannot. It knows the hearts of others, the timing of intersections, the fragile balance of your destiny. The delay is not denial, it is choreography. Every pause, every waiting season, every not yet, is a piece of divine precision aligning unseen movements so that your steps land in safety and grace. When Archangel Michael spreads his wings around your path, he does so not to cage you, but to cover you. His wings are wide enough to hold back the storm until you have learned how to stand in calm. He shields you from battles that are not yours, from offers wrapped in illusion, from roads paved with distraction. And when the time is right, those same wings open, releasing you into a path that will not break you. Beloved, I know waiting can feel like punishment. The heart aches for progress, for confirmation, for motion. But stillness is not the absence of blessing, it is the shaping of it. In the quiet delay, heaven molds your strength, softens your impatience, and fine-tunes your discernment. You are not being delayed from your purpose, you are being prepared for its full weight. If you listen closely, you may feel it even now, the faint hum of orchestration, like divine threads pulling into alignment. What seems to be standing still is actually rearranging itself in your favor. You are being guided into timing that does not falter. Every closed door is a kindness you will one day thank heaven for. Stay with this truth a little longer. Imagine those guardian wings wrapped gently around your life. Feel the protection in that image, the safety of being guided by wisdom older than time. The same hands that closed that door are the ones preparing to open another, one that leads to peace, not struggle. You'll soon see why that door stayed closed. You'll see how the delay became the doorway itself, how what you thought was withheld was simply being refined. Nothing good has been lost, it's merely waiting to meet you when the moment is strong enough to hold it. So rest, chosen one. The waiting is not wasted. The hidden hand is still at work, moving mountains quietly, shaping people's hearts, aligning the miracle so it will meet you in perfect stillness. The delay is divine mercy in disguise, and when it ends, you will not rush, you will recognize. And that recognition will feel like peace. There are moments, my dear one, when heaven speaks not through thunder or words but through the gentle choreography of your days. A song that plays just as you think of someone you miss. A feather appearing on your path after a morning of prayer. The clock catching your attention at 11:11 again and again until you finally pause long enough to wonder, is someone trying to tell me something? You are not imagining it. These are the whispers of angels, soft, subtle, and steady reminders that you are not walking alone. Heaven often hides its voice in the ordinary. It takes the familiar and turns it luminous. When you slow down enough to notice, even the smallest moment glows with divine handwriting. The number 555 might appear when change is near, not as a warning but as a reassurance that transition is guided. 11:11 might shimmer before your eyes as a gateway, a nudge to realign with purpose, to remember that you are part of something beautifully intentional. You see, angels rarely shout, they sing through patterns. They fold messages into repetition until your heart begins to recognize the rhythm. And when your heart awakens to that rhythm, life itself begins to feel like prayer. Every coincidence becomes a conversation. Every alignment becomes affirmation that you are being led, loved, and seen. But listen closely, my beloved. The signs themselves are not the source of peace, they are the reflection of it. The true language of heaven is not numbers or symbols, it is peace. You'll notice that before a real sign appears, peace will find you first. That soft settling in your chest, the breath that suddenly deepens, the moment when anxiety loosens its grip, that is how you know the message is divine. Fear may imitate urgency, but peace carries authority. So when the signs come, and they will, don't rush to decode them like puzzles to solve. Instead, receive them like love letters written in light. Ask within, what part of me feels at ease when I see this? What truth do I already know that this sign confirms? Heaven never sends symbols to confuse you. Each one is a reminder that guidance is closer than you think. Remember that dream that stayed with you, the one that felt more real than waking life? That was not imagination. Dreams are the language of the soul, where angels paint pictures when words would be too heavy. Sometimes a single phrase from a dream, a color, a familiar face, carries all you need to know. You are remembered, you are being guided, you are safe. And the songs, oh, how they speak. A lyric repeating in your mind, a melody that brings tears before you even understand why. These are not random echoes. They are the Spirit's way of brushing against your awareness, of letting you know, I am near. You may even notice that the songs come when you need courage most, their timing too perfect to dismiss. Still, discernment is sacred. Not every flicker of coincidence carries a message, and that's all right. Heaven does not test you, it trains your awareness. The goal is not to chase signs but to dwell in alignment so deeply that signs flow naturally toward you. When you live in peace, you don't have to look for confirmation. Confirmation begins to look for you. Let your heart rest in wonder instead of analysis. Let joy be your compass. When a sign feels like a warm embrace rather than a demand, you can trust it. When a coincidence fills you with gratitude instead of fear, you can believe it's divine. The presence of peace is the proof of guidance. Close your eyes for a breath. Recall the last time a sign found you, perhaps that number on the dashboard, that sudden lightness in the middle of an ordinary day. Feel again the quiet awe that followed. That warmth in your chest. That was heaven smiling through the fabric of your reality. You are being guided, beloved. Angels walk the invisible roads beside you, speaking in symbols chosen just for you. And as your awareness softens, those whispers will grow clearer, not because the signs have increased, but because your spirit has finally slowed enough to hear them. Soon, you'll begin to notice peace before the signs appear, like a gentle breeze before dawn, assuring you that heaven is already on its way. There is a language spoken beyond words, my dear one, and learning to understand it is part of your sacred training. Not every voice that reaches your heart is meant to guide you. Some speak from the residue of fear, others from the echo of longing. But the voice of heaven, oh, it carries a different weight. It never shouts, never hurries, never frightens. Heaven's messages never rush you. They move like still water, clear, patient, unwavering. You felt both, haven't you? The sudden pull that feels urgent, heavy, demanding, like something terrible will happen if you don't act now. That is not how divine guidance feels. Fear rushes, peace reveals. When heaven speaks, there is space to breathe. Even if the message is firm, it lands gently, as though light itself has touched your spirit. Stay with me here. I want you to feel the difference, not just understand it. Imagine 2 moments. In the first, your chest tightens, your breath quickens, and your mind begins to spin with what-ifs. In the second, your body softens, your heart steadies, and though you may not know all the answers, you sense that you are safe. That second feeling, that is the mark of divine truth. Heaven's voice always carries peace, even when it asks you to change. There are times when fear disguises itself as intuition, whispering in tones that sound convincing. It says, if you don't act fast, you'll miss your chance. But God's timing is never threatened by delay. What is meant for you will never vanish because you took a moment to breathe. Discernment begins in that breath, in the willingness to pause before reacting, to let panic settle before listening again. So here is your gentle test, beloved. When a message comes, ask yourself, does this lead me toward peace or away from it? Does it invite trust or feed anxiety? Does it remind me of my worth or diminish it? If the answer brings expansion, if your breath deepens and your spirit feels lifted, you can trust that the guidance is true. If it constricts you, if it fills you with dread or makes you small, release it. Heaven will repeat what is real until you recognize it. Test every spirit by peace. These words are not about suspicion, they are about safety. God never manipulates you into obedience through fear. The divine way is consent, not coercion. You are not a puppet of prophecy, you are a participant in grace. The angels will never violate your freedom. They will only illuminate the paths that match your readiness. You may notice that when guidance is real, it harmonizes with love. It aligns, rather than alarms. Even correction from heaven feels like kindness, firm, yes, but never cruel. It leaves you standing taller, not shrinking smaller. Fear wounds the heart, truth restores it. Take a moment now, close your eyes if you wish. Let your breath slow again. Ask softly within, does this voice feel like peace? Trust the first calm that rises, not the panic that follows. That gentle assurance in your chest, that warmth that asks nothing from you except presence, that is the holy whisper. It does not chase, it invites. Beloved, discernment is not about perfection. It's about practice. Each time you choose peace over panic, you strengthen your spiritual hearing. Each pause becomes a prayer. And in time, you'll find that you no longer need to test the voice, it will be unmistakable. The truth will feel like home. When you know this rhythm, life begins to soften. You no longer chase signs or fear missing them. You walk at the pace of peace, trusting that what is real will wait for you, that heaven has no need to hurry love. In that stillness, you will hear it again, the voice that has guided you all along, steady as light, whispering only what leads you closer to peace. Take a deep breath, my beloved one. Let the air move slowly through you, filling your chest with calm, releasing what no longer belongs. You have carried so much, expectations, disappointments, unanswered questions, and now, in this sacred pause, heaven invites you to lay them down. Nothing is required of you but presence. Nothing is expected but honesty. Just breathe and let your heart open a little more with every exhale. Inhale peace, exhale resistance. Inhale grace, exhale striving. Inhale presence, exhale the need to understand. Now, whisper this prayer, not as a performance, but as a conversation between you and the one who has never left your side. Father of light, I return to you now. Not with perfect words, but with an honest heart. Where I have doubted, forgive me. Where I have hurried, slow me. Where I have feared, remind me that I am safe in your timing. I release my grip on what I cannot control. I loosen the armor I built around my heart. Teach me to rest again in trust. Let my spirit remember the rhythm of your peace. I am safe in your timing. I am safe in your care. I am safe in your plan, even when I cannot see it. Let those words linger. Feel them move like gentle waves inside you. Every repetition is an opening, every breath a softening. The heart that once felt closed begins to unfold again, petal by petal. There is no rush here. The divine presence is not measured by volume but by peace. You may feel warmth rise through your body, a subtle tingling, or tears beginning to gather. Let them. This is what reconnection feels like, your soul remembering that it has always belonged. There is no distance between you and heaven now. Only awareness deepening, like a quiet river finding its source. Say again, slowly, I am safe in your timing. Let the words settle in the spaces that once held fear. Let them echo through your body until every cell remembers the truth. Delay is not denial, silence is not absence, waiting is not wasted. You are being held by something vast, something kind, something unshakable. If your mind begins to wander, bring it back to your breath. Breathe in peace, breathe out control. Feel how the edges of your worry soften, how the heaviness begins to lift. You are not alone in this moment. The same God who formed the stars listens now to the rhythm of your breathing. Heaven bends near whenever a heart chooses trust. Whisper once more. I rest now, not because I have all the answers, but because I trust the one who does. I am safe in your timing. Stay here for a few more breaths. Let the stillness fill you until the space between you and peace disappears completely. This is reconnection, not an act of striving, but a returning home. And as your breath steadies, as calm takes its rightful place within you, know this: you have never been separated from divine love. The line was never broken, only hidden beneath the noise. With this breath, it is restored. With this prayer, you remember. And as the silence deepens into serenity, your heart whispers back, I am here. I am yours. And I am safe. Close your eyes, my dear one. Imagine for a moment that everything in your life begins to soften, not disappear, not change all at once, but simply loosen its grip. Your shoulders release, your breath slows, and the tightness that once lived in your chest begins to dissolve like fog in morning light. This is what alignment feels like. Not a loud revelation, not a flash of perfection, but the quiet relief of realizing that you are exactly where you need to be. You'll know by peace. You'll know by warmth. You'll know by rest. When you are in alignment, peace doesn't come after the circumstance, it comes before it. It appears as an inner ease that defies explanation. You may still have questions, but the anxiety behind them fades. You may still be waiting, but you're no longer afraid of waiting. The need to force outcomes or chase signs disappears, replaced by a simple trust that what is meant for you will not pass you by. Imagine walking through your day with that feeling in your body, your breath even, your pace unhurried, your heart steady like a drumbeat of calm. Conversations that once drained you begin to unfold with grace. Decisions that used to confuse you feel lighter, almost obvious. It isn't that life suddenly becomes perfect, it's that your spirit stops resisting its flow. You'll know by peace. You'll know by warmth. You'll know by rest. There's a gentle glow that surrounds moments of divine alignment. You may notice it in small ways, the way the sunlight touches your face at just the right moment, the way a stranger's kindness brings tears to your eyes, the way everything seems to slow just enough for you to catch your breath. It is as though heaven is syncing the rhythm of your heart with the rhythm of creation itself. You find yourself in harmony with what once felt chaotic. And that's how divine order moves, not in force, but in flow. The tension that once ruled your mind begins to unwind. You stop grasping for signs because you realize you have become one. Your peace, your calm presence, your quiet trust, all of it signals to heaven that you are listening, ready, aligned. In alignment, time feels different. The past loses its power to define you, and the future loses its power to frighten you. Everything collapses beautifully into the present moment, where God's breath still moves. You begin to notice the sacred hidden inside the simple, your morning coffee, the laughter of someone you love, the hush before sleep. These are not ordinary moments anymore. They are confirmations of divine orchestration, gently reminding you that heaven lives within your now. You'll know by peace. You'll know by warmth. You'll know by rest. Sometimes alignment will feel like courage, other times it will feel like surrender. It may not look like progress to the outside world, but inside, you'll feel it, a steady confidence rising from within, a calm conviction that you are guided even when you don't yet see the full path. The absence of panic is not complacency, it is trust maturing into wisdom. Feel that stillness gathering in you now. Let your breath slow until you can hear its rhythm matching your heartbeat. The more you rest, the clearer everything becomes. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are being synchronized with the exact frequency of grace. You'll know by peace. You'll know by warmth. You'll know by rest. So the next time peace visits you, don't rush past it. Let it stay. Let it settle deep into your bones until it becomes the atmosphere of your soul. That calm, that ease, that holy stillness, that is heaven's confirmation that you are in alignment. It is not something you chase, it is something you allow. And as you breathe in this truth, feel the warmth return to your heart. Feel how light fills the spaces where tension once lived. This is divine order unfolding through you, soft, steady, and unmistakably kind. There was once a woman who thought heaven had forgotten her name. She had prayed until her voice trembled, cried until her eyes ached, and waited until the seasons blurred together. Every door she tried seemed to close softly but firmly in her face. She told herself, maybe I missed it. Maybe the plan moved on without me. In the silence, she began to believe she had been left behind. But heaven had not abandoned her, heaven was preparing her. Though she could not see it, threads of grace were weaving behind the scenes, stitching new paths through old disappointments. While she mourned what was lost, something better, something gentler, was being formed. Still, the silence felt unbearable. She stopped praying for a while. She felt empty, suspended between hope and surrender. One evening, as twilight folded over her small apartment, she sat by the window and whispered a question, not loud enough for the world to hear, but strong enough for heaven to notice. If you still see me, show me, she said. Just once. Just enough to know I'm not forgotten. The next morning, a small thing happened. The song that had played at her mother's funeral years before came on the radio, a song she hadn't heard in a decade. It drifted through the room like incense, carrying warmth she couldn't explain. She felt something in her chest loosen, as though the air itself was answering. Her tears came quietly this time, not from sorrow but from recognition. You are still here, she thought. You never left. From that day forward, small confirmations began to find her. A stranger's kind smile. A job opportunity that came not through striving, but through stillness. Even her dreams began to change, less of chaos, more of peace. Each piece fit perfectly, though none of it could have arrived sooner without breaking her. She began to see how delay had saved her. How silence had steadied her. How every no had been a not yet written in divine handwriting. She told her story to no one for a long time. It felt too holy, too tender to explain. But when she finally spoke of it, she realized something profound. Her restoration didn't come from what was returned to her, it came from what awakened within her. She discovered a new kind of peace, the kind that didn't depend on outcomes. The kind that whispered, even if nothing changes, I am still held. There was a day she walked past the same closed door she once begged heaven to open. She smiled instead of wept. For the first time, she understood that it had never been rejection, only redirection. She felt gratitude rise within her for all the ways God had protected her from her own impatience. What she once called loss had become clarity. And then, when her heart was finally quiet, something unexpected happened. The dream she thought was gone returned, but differently. Softer. Kinder. This time, she didn't chase it. It came to her, unforced and gentle, as if carried by the same angels who had guarded her through the silence. What she once tried to control now unfolded naturally, almost effortlessly. This, my dear one, is what restoration often looks like. It doesn't shout. It doesn't rush. It returns when you have become the version of yourself that can hold it with peace. Sometimes God withholds not to punish but to prepare. Sometimes the waiting is the miracle. Perhaps you see yourself in her story, the sleepless nights, the unanswered prayers, the ache that feels endless. But listen closely, restoration is already moving toward you, quietly and intentionally. You don't have to chase it. The same unseen hand that wrote her redemption is writing yours. The pattern is different, but the promise is the same. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. Heaven is never late. Every delay is a thread of grace, every silence a sacred setup for a deeper peace. And one day, when you least expect it, you'll look back and understand, the waiting was not wasted, it was the womb of your becoming. When you reach that moment, you'll recognize it by peace first, not fanfare. You'll feel it as warmth in your heart, the soft assurance that everything has unfolded in perfect timing. You'll smile, as she did, not because life has returned to what it was, but because it has become what it was always meant to be. And as you breathe in that realization, you'll whisper the same words she once did, words that belong to all who have found grace after silence. I was never abandoned. I was being guided home. Peace is not a moment to chase, beloved, it is a rhythm to keep. The shift you've begun to feel, that quiet alignment stirring in your heart, is meant to be anchored, tended like a flame that grows brighter with gentle care. Heaven's presence is steady, but your awareness of it deepens when you choose daily stillness. These practices are not rules, they are invitations, soft ways to stay in rhythm with divine peace. Think of them as 3 breaths that carry you through the day. Pause, listen, note. Pause. Each morning, before the world begins its noise, pause. Sit at the edge of your bed, close your eyes, and place a hand over your heart. Breathe slowly until you feel your pulse beneath your palm. Whisper, "I awaken in peace." Let those words anchor you in the truth that the day is already blessed, not because it will be easy, but because you are not entering it alone. The breath becomes a prayer, the silence becomes sanctuary. You don't need to ask for everything to change, you simply need to remember that God is already here. This morning pause will become your tuning fork, aligning your spirit before the first sound of the world can pull you off key. Listen. Throughout the day, find one sacred minute, just 60 seconds, to listen. Step outside, or close your eyes at your desk, or rest your hands on your lap while waiting in line. Ask quietly, what is heaven saying now? It may not be words. It may be a sensation, a warmth, a calm, a sudden clarity. The voice of peace is gentle but unmistakable. When you listen, you create space for synchronicity, for divine timing to reveal itself again. You begin to walk in partnership with grace instead of striving against it. The act of listening reminds you that guidance does not need to shout, it only needs to be received. Note. And at night, before sleep claims you, take a few moments to write, not long entries, just a few sentences. Note where peace found you that day. Maybe it was in a smile, a still breath, a kind word that softened your heart. Gratitude is the ink of remembrance. When you record what is good, you train your mind to notice heaven's hand more clearly. You'll begin to see patterns, how answers often arrive quietly, how even small mercies shape the day. End each note with a whisper, "Thank you for what I saw, and for what I didn't yet see." Then let your eyes close in trust, knowing divine order continues its work while you rest. Pause. Listen. Note. These 3 small movements will become your rhythm of stability when life feels uncertain. They ground the unseen into the everyday, allowing peace to be more than a passing feeling, it becomes a posture. With time, you will notice that moments of chaos no longer carry you away as easily. You will stand rooted in calm, aware of the sacred pulse beneath every breath. Remember, spiritual drift happens quietly, but so does restoration. You don't need grand rituals to stay close to heaven, just intention wrapped in simplicity. Each pause reconnects you, each moment of listening reorients you, each note of gratitude realigns your heart with divine flow. And as these practices become familiar, you'll discover something beautiful. You're no longer trying to find peace, you're living from it. The rhythm becomes part of you, a steady beat that whispers through every breath, "I am anchored. I am guided. I am safe." There comes a moment, my beloved, when the veil begins to lift, not through effort, not through striving, but through grace. It happens quietly, often in the very place where you once wept and thought heaven had forgotten you. It begins as a soft recognition, a whisper rising within your spirit, I was never lost. This is the great unveiling, the moment you remember who you truly are. All this time, you thought you were waiting for God to remember you, when in truth, heaven was waiting for you to remember yourself. Every delay, every silence, every sign has been leading you here, to this realization, this homecoming of the heart. The angels, especially Michael, have been guarding this revelation until you were ready to receive it. And now, he speaks, not through thunder, but through stillness. You are chosen. You are guarded. You are guided. You are chosen. Not because of perfection, not because you have never stumbled, but because your heart keeps turning toward light, even in the dark. Chosen does not mean favored above others, it means trusted with the task of remembering. You were chosen to carry peace where chaos once ruled, to speak calm into confusion, to walk in grace even when the ground shakes beneath you. You are guarded. When you thought you were alone, wings covered you. Every detour, every closed door, every pause was a shield shaped like timing. The battles you never saw, the opportunities that didn't unfold, were often the very evidence of your protection. Archangel Michael's presence has been constant, unseen but near, guarding your boundaries, keeping your heart intact until you learn to guard it with wisdom too. You are guided. Not by chance, not by mere intuition, but by divine orchestration. Every whisper of peace that replaced panic, every moment of surrender that brought clarity, was guidance in motion. You have not missed your path, you have been sculpted for it. Heaven's guidance is not a straight line, it is a dance between delay and revelation, between silence and song. My dear one, this is who you are, not lost, not behind, not forsaken. You are the evidence of divine artistry, a soul who has walked through shadows and emerged luminous. When fear tries to rename you, remember the truth. You are not your pain, not your past, not your waiting. You are peace becoming visible. Breathe this truth in now. Feel it settle into your bones. Imagine light unfurling within you, beginning in your heart and spreading outward, down your arms, across your chest, through your breath. The same light that called the stars into being moves through you. You are not separate from heaven, you are a living extension of its love. The veil was never meant to keep you from God, it was meant to teach you to seek Him within. You are chosen. You are guarded. You are guided. Each phrase is a key turning in the lock of remembrance. Repeat them softly until they feel like your own heartbeat. Let them replace the stories that told you you were small, unseen, or forgotten. You have never been anything less than sacred. Do you feel that warmth in your chest? That ease in your breath? That is your true self-awakening. That is heaven's way of saying, you've come home. This unveiling is not the end of the journey. It is the beginning of walking in wholeness, of seeing the world as it really is, alive with grace, alive with meaning, alive with you. And when fear returns, and it will, as all human emotions do, remember this moment. Place your hand over your heart and whisper the truth that realigns you. I am chosen. I am guarded. I am guided. That is the song heaven has been singing over you since the beginning. That is the revelation Michael has waited for you to claim. And now that you have remembered, peace is no longer something you seek, it is who you are. Beloved one, you've walked through the valley of silence and stood in the light of remembrance. You've listened for heaven's whisper and found peace breathing quietly beneath your ribs. Now, as this message draws to a close, may a deep calm settle around you like morning sunlight through open windows. This is not an ending, it is a beginning, a gentle unfolding of connection, both with heaven and with hearts like yours walking this same path. Place your hand over your heart once more. Feel the steady rhythm there, the sacred proof that life itself is prayer. You are not alone in this beat. Somewhere, someone else is breathing with you now, listening with you, believing again because of the same voice that called your name through these words. That's how the divine works, it links souls through unseen threads of timing and tenderness. The moments that led you here were not coincidence, they were choreography. May you feel the blessing of that orchestration now. May you sense the nearness of angels in the hush between your breaths. They are not far. They are standing beside you, watching with soft joy as you return to your peace. The wings that once shielded you now unfold in celebration. Heaven rejoices not because you've become perfect, but because you've remembered, you were never lost. Let these words wrap around you like a prayer. May peace be the language your heart speaks first. May your steps move with ease in the rhythm of divine timing. May every place you go carry traces of heaven because you were there. Breathe deeply and receive that. Feel how it anchors in you. You don't have to chase blessing, you are walking within it. Even as this voice fades, the echo of it will remain, a quiet reminder that you are part of something vast, gentle, and eternal. In the coming days, you'll see signs of this truth. You may wake to a morning that feels lighter than before, or hear a song that brushes your spirit with memory. You may notice the same numbers, 1111, 555, or a soft warmth that comes from nowhere at all. These are confirmations, not demands. They are heaven's way of saying, you are on the right path. Keep walking in peace. And when you do, remember, this journey was never meant to be walked alone. We are a circle of hearts learning the same language of stillness, courage, and trust. If these words have touched something within you, share it. Speak life into the space around you. Leave a prayer, a reflection, a simple word of gratitude, so another soul can find their way back to light through your echo. This is how heaven's message multiplies. It moves through kindness, through shared faith, through small acts of love that ripple far beyond what we see. The peace you feel now is not yours to hoard, it's a torch meant to be carried, quietly and faithfully, into a world still learning how to breathe again. So, take a moment before you leave. Whisper your own blessing into the atmosphere, may all who hear this feel held. May every heart that reaches for hope be met with peace. That whisper joins a chorus already rising, a prayer that has no boundaries, a hymn of souls awakening together. And now, as the light of this moment begins to dim, may you feel covered in grace. May your nights bring rest, your mornings bring clarity, and your days unfold in divine order. Whatever tomorrow brings, let it meet you already grounded in calm. You are chosen. You are guarded. You are guided. And you are surrounded by love seen and unseen, by community near and far, by the gentle patience of heaven itself. Go in peace, beloved one. Carry this calm with you. Share it freely. And remember, the story of restoration is still being written, and heaven will continue to speak, in signs, in songs, in stillness, and through hearts like yours.